All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Good morning.
We've got a fun and full panel today. I'm going to bring the Facebook Live audience in and then we'll get started here and we'll be ready to go. Woohoo! Tell us where you're coming from, everyone. Feel free to type in the chat box and the Q&A box and we'll be good to go. Thanks for joining us this morning. Lots of creativity. This is like a creative workshop, a creative roundtable that's going to occur today. All right, let me just get confirmation we're live and we should be in a good place. Looks like we're live.
Appears to be live.
It appears to be live. Yes, we are. Awesome. Okay. Hello, Facebook. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning, everyone in RE/MAX land, and welcome to the Business Builders series. We're so excited to have you here this morning with us. So we always appreciate you starting your day with us. My name is Michelle Hoyt. I am Manager of Education and Development for RE/MAX INTEGRA. So welcome back. We've been doing these every couple of weeks. And I cannot wait for you to meet the panel today. Like I said, it's going to be a creative roundtable of a mastermind panel that I cannot wait for you to meet and to see. And a lot of you know them already. So let's sit back and let's learn all about Photofy and Design Center. It's easy marketing. So let's go ahead and meet our panel. They'll let them introduce themselves. I'm also excited to have my teammate Kevin joining us. I'll let him introduce himself as well. So let's start with Matt. Matt, please introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them all about you, your history with RE/MAX, and anything else you want us to know.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Matt Nuzie with RE/MAX Right Choice, headquartered in Trumbull, Connecticut. I've been with RE/MAX for 14 years. It's first job out of college. Last year I was Titan level and top 100 in the U.S. as an individual agent. So I'm very proud of that, and with the backing of a great company, it makes things possible. So I'm happy to be here, happy to chat with everyone and have a good, productive session. So thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you, Matt. And Matt is a two-time panelist. We were joking that we should give out jackets and as is Kristen, and we'll give out jackets and prizes, I guess, for the most appearances, like Saturday Night Live. Thank you for being here. All right, everyone, please meet Kristen. Kristen, please introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
Hi, I am Kristen Long. I am at RE/MAX Realty Associates in Champaign, Illinois. Like Matt, RE/MAX is the only brand that I have been with and have zero intentions of ever going anywhere else. It's family to me. I am a standalone agent, and the bulk of everything I do is with RE/MAX provided tools, and I have been able to hit 100% club. On our average sales price here is 147. So that's, important to throw that in there. With just using those tools and having very little, like under $2,000 a year marketing spend. So hopefully you guys can take some pieces of information.
No, thank you. We have a lot of Canadians watching who have an average price of 700 to $1 million. So keep that in mind. Kristen's got to do about 3 or 4 times the transactions, and she does. And but it's always fun to hear about the different markets. So thank you, Kristen. All right. Anna, everyone please meet Anna. She's a big supporter of these theories. She's always on. She's always cheering us on and very positive. And now we're very excited to have her on the panel. So Anna, please introduce yourself.
Well, hi, everyone. My name is Anna Duarte. I am in Waynesboro, Virginia, which is near Charlottesville, Virginia. University of Virginia is right down the street, and James Madison University as well. I have been with RE/MAX since 2017, and I've been using the tools ever since, mostly self-taught. I'm curious, George. I like to figure out things. So I just by doing that and starting using the tools, all of a sudden I became also the trainer for our agents at our offices. So I try to offer some classes and help everybody. And as most of you who know me know that I try to help even people that are not in my office. So I'm pretty pleased to do that. I think that's
Well,
it.
That's a very good, you really are curious, George. You get to the bottom of it.
Yes, I think most of us on this group were sort of kindred spirits because we're all self-taught and pretty much none of us read manuals. We just like to figure things out, which is good. So everyone, thank you, Anna. So happy to have you here finally on one of our panels. Kevin, please introduce yourself, especially to the Canadian audience.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. My name is Kevin Vinzon. I'm the brand education manager for RE/MAX INTEGRA for Ontario, Atlantic, Canada. And I am from Milton, Ontario, if you know where that is.
No, absolutely. That's kind of near Mississauga, right? Sort
Yeah,
of?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I know where that is, but well, Kevin, I'm sure. So for all of you from Canada, just so you know, Kevin is your go-to person. He joined our team in December. I'm thrilled to have him as my co-host today. He's going to be in this fall. He'll be conducting panels just like this for the Canadian audience exclusively. And we appreciate all of you being here and participating. So before we get into that, really get into the creative aspect of it, I just want to go around really quick to Matt, Kristen, and Anna. I know that inquiring minds want to know, okay, the markets, there's a frenzy right now going on with spring market with multiple offers. Can you give us just a quick synopsis, like maybe your 60-second version of what's going on in your market, what's working, and maybe how you're keeping your sanity, which I know is challenging each day. So Matt, we'll start with you on that one.
Sure. So great question. And yes, Connecticut is a very hot market. It's a very, very strong seller's market. And to keep my sanity and to things that I'm doing are really just trying to not get tired, not get burned out, and to bring the same level of excitement to each buyer opportunity or each seller opportunity, and really focusing on buyers right now, making sure that every time you write up an offer, you're doing it with the same energy and the same excitement, even though it might be the 6th or 7th one. They don't want to see that you're tired of this and that you're getting worn down. So it's really testing us. It's making us work a little bit extra hard. We're being creative and thinking outside the box. And honestly, it's really testing our relationships with other brokers and other agents in the community. So, it's much easier to get deals done when you have good rapport with the other agent. And, so whatever we can do to be creative and think outside the box is working, and really just trying to stay, keep everything organized and high energy with the clients so that, they know that we're always there for them.
That's great, Matt, and thank you so much. And not to put you on the spot, but would you mind sharing with the audience what you just did this morning?
I'm still in my 15 minutes supposed to sit and wait after the COVID second shot. So that was at 9:40, and I hustled back to my parents' house because they live a lot closer to the vaccine site than I do. And so we're here. So if I kind of go this way, just call someone.
Oh no. And just so everyone knows, I gave him an out and he said, absolutely not. I am in. I want to do this. So that's
I love these panels. They're awesome, and I really enjoy it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Kristen, tell us a little bit about what's going on in Champaign. You had some good stories when we all met yesterday.
Yeah, it is like Matt said, it is very competitive. It's a very, very strong seller's market, and it is exhausting, and it is really hard to put on a happy face and go and do what you do and do it well. I taught pre-K in my past life, so I'm very familiar with the here we go, happy faces, even though we're not all happy all the time. But yeah, so I have had some really good luck with getting my buyers' offers accepted, just kind of being creative with your offer. And just like Matt said, yesterday I had an agent reach out, and my client's offer won just because, for two reasons. One, she did write a letter, which I know those are sensitive subjects, so we'll just move on from there. And two, the agent called and she said, you have a great reputation in our office, and that you're very, easy to work with and smooth transactions. So just having that reputation. And then I think, I don't share my successes on social as much as some people do. But I share, here and there of the lifestyle and just different little things and tell a story about it. And so I think that kind of helps me to be who I am to my audience as well. And then I've already kind of built that trust with people that end up calling me and they're like, hey, I saw that you sold this one and, we're looking to sell, and that's how I make that connection. So yeah, I think keeping my sanity, I don't know that I am right now, but fake it till you make it. We'll get a break someday.
Right. And Kristen told us yesterday how she's got the multiple sets of buyers all looking at the same property. So that's where a lot of you are in that same position. So thank you for that.
And my advice there, and I know that's not, design related, but just be honest with your clients out the gate, because if they find out that you sold a house to somebody else and they didn't even know you were showing it to somebody else, your trust with that person is gone. And that's what our business is built on. So just tell them you're out seeing other people too.
That's funny. Well, and congratulations to you for building such a great reputation in your own market. And it's obviously paying off. Anna, can you tell us really quick what's going on in Virginia?
Oh, also very crazy. Multiple offer situation everywhere. And I live about 20 to 30 minutes from Charlottesville, and Charlottesville prices are on the rise even more than before. So I got a lot of people who are trying to be in a certain radius from Charlottesville. So I get to drive around. And I drove about over 500 miles in the past 4 days. And I try to not let it show to my clients that I am tired of driving. And I try not to be negative on the social media as well, complaining about how crazy the market is, because I don't want possible buyers to feel discouraged, or my clients if they're following me on social media. So always be upbeat and positive and say, like, there is a chance and you can't win your offer if you don't play and submit an offer. So
this is why they hire us. Good agents rise up in this kind of market. We actually have to earn our money now.
yeah.
Well, we are the home of the top producer. So everyone, I just wanted you to hear what they're going through the same things that you are. And what they're going to show you today is how they're taking the time and balancing it all with utilizing the pieces, whether it's Design Center or Photofy, to really market themselves and their business. So I just wanted you to know that. Kevin?
Yeah, so I guess let's get into marketing. I'll start with Anna first. When you first got in the business, what type of marketing resources did you use, and has that changed in terms of print, digital, etc.? And sort of a two-parter, how did you learn to market yourselves and to use social media for marketing?
Well, I had done some marketing before. I do have a background in graphic design and worked in several different industries that relied on social media and building a community within. So in this case, I used to teach ballroom dance and also kickboxing. So I had to keep our interested and active and feeling like they were part of the family. So we would just have our personal Facebook groups, and I would post, memes or informational articles and whatnot, and just try to keep the community involved. So once I got into real estate, I got to put my two passions into play: technology and people, because those two usually don't work out in other fields. So I just went in and played around with all of the tools that RE/MAX had to offer, and just found like, oh, these are really good. I can tweak it a little bit and use it for this, and just, play, experiment, and get it out there.
That's it. It's all about practice and getting into it and just doing it.
Pretty much, yep.
Kristen, how about yourself?
So I made the joke yesterday that where I started, I'm glad I started on a team when I first started in this career, and I am very thankful that my social media from when I was on a team is now in the archives. I also have a background in graphic design and marketing, but I was it wasn't good. It wasn't pretty at all. But like Anna said, just the tools that we have readily available to us are so almost mindless to use. And I say that, and I don't want to discourage anybody that finds them challenging right now. I can guarantee we can get you to a point where it becomes mindless to you as well. Just like, when you first switched to a iPhone without the button, it took me a while to figure out, how to get back to my home screen and all those things. So, Photofy especially is kind of like that. And there's times when I'm like, where did that go? Where did I find that? How did I do that? But yeah, just using the tools and then realizing how to kind of sprinkle the brand into everything I do has just maintained that top of mind awareness when people are driving through town and see the balloon and they're like, hey, like you've got a lot of listings. I'm like, yeah, even though they're other people's signs. So
yeah, I love that. And we're going to show later on as well, how easy it is to integrate the brand with the tools like Photofy, where we have access to all of those stickers and logos. So thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
And Matt, how about yourself?
So 14 years ago, when I first started, I did a lot of print. I actually still in my office, I ordered, I think, 2,000 postcards saying, hey, I'm a realtor, and I never sent them out. So it wasn't very effective. I'd like to think I was in the early stages of Facebook advertising when it was pay per click. And I got good business that way, and just kind of learned and try to stay on top of the curve. Although I feel like I'm falling a little bit behind because I'm not onto TikTok or Clubhouse, and I don't foresee myself doing those kind of things. LinkedIn was big for me in terms of advertising and trying to reach a professional sphere. But yeah, I mean, everything that RE/MAX offers just kind of helps get you to the next level. And so it's come a long way from where I first started 14 years ago. And I see the rest of the questions, we'll get into kind of the details of the program. So I'll wait to answer then.
Do you still have those flyers, Matt? All 2,000 of them?
I do. And the joke was my headshot for every other RE/MAX event was me in a bow tie for my wedding. And Michelle was nice enough to find one on my Facebook without. But in that picture, I have a very interesting shirt on as well. And I'll send that to you guys.
Hey,
yeah.
we appreciate that. Fashion flashbacks, right?
I figured out how to sell a lot of houses, but I haven't figured out how to get a good headshot in yet.
Oh, I'm sure we'll help you with that for sure. I think it was National Headshot Day, or is that coming up? I don't know. It's one of those crazy holidays. Well, thank you so much.
Like Kristen does. There's her big
Yeah.
on the top.
there's one over here.
I was going to say, a lot of you probably know Kristen from her very famous Bitmoji with her signature bun. And we all love that about her. So, all right. So we're talking social media, and just so everyone knows, stay tuned with us because they're going to show examples of their work and we're going to talk through a lot of that. But what social media platforms in particular work the best for each of you? And, also video, I know, is a big part of that. What percentage would you say of image versus video that you're using? We'll start with you on this one, Anna.
Yeah, percentage for it? I don't know. It's a good mix. I like to mix it up. But I'm mostly on Facebook. I have a business page just for, my business, obviously, because it's Facebook business. And on my personal, I try not to do too much business, but I do try to bring the fun in my personality into my personal. And I do have some clients who are my friends and they follow me. And I stopped by one of my clients' house that I sold last week because we're always on social media and commenting on each other. And she was like, oh my God, she was so excited to see me. So just by doing that. And she's like one of my top supporters ever. And then on Instagram, I also have a business account so I can keep track of analytics in there. Does that help?
That's great. Thank you so much. Kristen, how about you?
So my primary source of leads, referrals, everything has come from Instagram. I'm more of a square liver rather than the stories. I was really doing well in stories, and then COVID hit, and then I just went back to the squares. So that's primarily is where I'm at on Instagram. Facebook for me is kind of just like a filler for my clients so that they can see what I'm sharing and what I'm posting. I have two very different audiences on Facebook versus Instagram. So Facebook is a lot more of, my past clients, whereas Instagram's a lot more of my community and friends and, agents across the world really that send referrals and things. So primarily Instagram is where everything comes from. And this year, all but I think I have 18 under contract, and all but 3 of them were some form of social, whether it was an agent referring them to me because they had seen me on social, they had seen me on social themselves. So when I say that's a bulk of my business, it's a bulk of my business.
Well, that's fantastic. So there's never been a better tool ever invented for self-promotion than social media. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it's far reaching and it's wide, and agents that got in the business years and years ago had to take out very expensive billboards and bus benches, and it's amazing. So good for you. How about you, Matt? What are your primary social tools? What works for you? And talk us through that.
Sure. So Instagram and Facebook are the 2 main ones that I use. And about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I transitioned all real estate posts from my personal to my business page. It was tough to do, but I felt it was the right thing to do. So every once in a while, maybe 1 or 2 posts a year on my personal Facebook page will be real estate related, but everything else is strictly on my business page and then my Instagram account. So I have a goal to try and do 1 social media post on Instagram every morning, or at least 6 days a week. And then it will go from Instagram, and the same post will go to Facebook. So I get that over with. I do it early in the morning, and then I'm just done with it. And then I'll respond to some of the comments and stuff like that as the day progresses. So for me, social media is incredibly important. I think it keeps you active. It keeps you in front of people, and there's different ways to accomplish that, but it's definitely necessary. You've got to be consistent. Your branding has to be consistent as well. So those are the 2 biggest ones. And then I'll do LinkedIn, but I'm not as active on LinkedIn. I just every once in a while I'll check in and put a post up there and kind of go through that. So just couldn't stress enough that you want to make sure you have a Facebook business page and a Instagram business page, because it allows you to do certain things where on your personal page you just can't do it.
Sounds good. Thanks. All right, Kevin.
Yes, thank you. Okay, well, I guess at this point, if we can start to show examples for everyone attending today of, show us your either Instagram page or your Facebook business page, and really talk us through, your strategies of, I guess, your most successful posts. How do you go about creating that caption or message? And what does that look like of it actually bringing in closings? So I guess for this one, we'll start with Kristen.
Of course, you're going to start with me as I'm trying to find my.
I saw her diverting her eyes away from mine.
I'm looking for.
Do you want
Anna
to
just convinced me to switch over to a Mac. So that's where I'm at in life now. So, trying to get I will show you what has brought me. Is there a way to make it big? The most business that is now a Photofy template. So
We're not seeing your screen yet.
that helps, right?
Yes.
You see it now?
Yay. Yeah.
So this one thing is, I didn't create it in Photofy originally, but as it grew, we reached out to the Photofy team and they made it a template in Photofy. So anytime anybody asks for a referral virtually anywhere, whether it be in Facebook agent referral groups, local groups, local like garage sale groups where people are like, hey, we're moving, we're looking for a realtor in town. This is what I share. So it puts a face with a name, and then it gives them all of the information they could possibly need. And I usually get 2 to 3 calls just from this one piece. There was a point in time where we turned it into a GIF.
And
So-
Oh, I love that.
That's a Photofy template.
Yeah, so it's in there now,
That's
where
really good.
it's super easy to create. It's kind of one of those like aha moments where you realize like you can share the link to your website, you can share, you know, your information, but at the end of the day, they want to see the person behind who they're going to be calling, whether that be a referring agent, or, you know, a human being out there in the world. Not that agents aren't human beings, but I think that's kind of the thing that I like to share most, is that it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to really like think through it really like a ton. You just have to do it. And that is just the biggest thing I think I can get across, is just actually getting it done. Like Matt and I have both said several times, like just doing the post is huge. I've used Photofy a lot more recently with the new world of stickers that went out. And I just love putting them on, you know, when I have a client that's getting ready to close, and just sending, you know, their house and your new home to the clients. And rather than putting it out public facing, they just like to see those kinds of things. And I see in here, Greg said Hootsuite posts to all three. This is where I'm going to be the buzzkill for anybody that uses a non-Facebook owned third-party poster. Facebook doesn't like those. So you'll notice that when you post your posts directly to Facebook, you're going to get a much more organic reach. Same with Instagram than when you schedule them through Hootsuite. Facebook has what they call Facebook Creator Studio. So you can go in Photofy Design Center, create a batch of content on Sunday evening, and schedule it out through Facebook Creator Studio to share. Facebook owns Facebook Creator Studio. So they're going to treat those posts just like you're going in and posting them individually, but it's kind of like it's a hidden gem. I feel like not very many people know about it. There's not an extra cost to it. It's just there. I think that template is in the business cards section. It looks a little bit different just because, you know, I didn't create it, but it looks pretty much, it's got the same exact concept to it.
Thank you, Kristen. Thanks for sharing. And I actually just looked on Photofy as well, and I see it there. If you're on it under templates, it's under Remax brand at the very, very bottom. And you'll be able to see it there. And just like Kristen said, very easily, you can edit that, add your own photo, and et cetera. Matt, do you mind going next?
Sure. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Share that screen. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So this is my Instagram account. And this is where I post everything. Just if I could stress one thing, actually, just to kind of start, is we all get solicited by people that want to take over our social media profiles and post for us. And I get probably 2 or 3 calls a week at least. And will never subscribe to that. I think to have the best reach, you've got to be different and unique and authentic. And even keeping current matters is something that I know a lot of agents subscribe to. I actually have a membership. I don't use it anymore because if you scroll through Instagram, you'll see the same, and you follow a bunch of realtors, you'll see the same 10 or 15 posts about how the market's doing and, you know, the social media content they put out. To me, that doesn't have much of an impact. I think what's best is people want to know, you know, local houses. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know what's going on in the market, and they want to see something different. So they keep checking back. So as far as the profile goes, make sure, you know, it's clear where you work, because I get a lot of agent to agent referrals through my Instagram advertising and marketing. So they know that I work in Connecticut, and they tend to reach out to me looking for referrals. As you scroll through, you're going to see every one of my posts is going to be branded. And this is something that was really important to me. I wanted to focus on being a great listing agent. And I noticed in my market, great listing agents always had great materials. And it was just, every time it was, okay, here's the logo, here's, it wasn't me handwriting something on an image and screenshotting it. It was very professionally done. So every time, this is just another thing. And this logo in the bottom left comes from Photofy. And I'll give you a little bit of a secret. I'm not sure if this is allowed or not, but under Remax, it's supposed to say the office name, but you can edit that text box. So if you want to do Remax, closing day, or Remax sale pending, or something else, you can get in that type font that is aligned perfectly underneath the Remax logo. So again, everything's neat and organized. The other thing that's great about Photofy is that when you don't have anything to post, so if I scroll back to the winter where things are a little bit slower, you'll see things like this, right? Found this picture within the Photofy app, dropped the Remax balloon on it, and wrote something about, the snow melting in Connecticut, the spring market. I had nothing to post this day. Found this picture on Photofy, put the Remax logo on it, and wrote something about, buying new construction in a tough market. There was one that was actually pretty successful that a bunch of Remax agents asked if I created it, or if they could copy it. Again, this was a picture that I found in Photofy, put the Remax balloon on it, and wrote a little bit about hiring an agent with experience versus someone that may not be as experienced. Again, you don't need to have any listings to come up with this type of content, and I do get a lot of interaction. It allows you to explain whatever you're looking to explain. So again, if you scroll through my page, a lot of them are my listings. I will post a coming soon listing. I'll post when it's active. I'll post when it's pending after appraisal, and I'll post when it closes. So that gives you 3 or 4 different things that you can put out there. And then I don't always post the exterior of a house. It's, people want to see the inside, and, we've got to get out of the habit of just posting the front of the house. There's a lot of architectural detail that we can show off on a lot of our listings. And then what's also great is if you go further down, Photofy has those quick hit videos and little 30-second ads. You could easily upload those if you want to get some video content into your profile. So 99.9% of my posts will have some type of Photofy content on it, pictures on it. And then where you see like the pending, that's when you add the artwork, which I'm sure we'll get into later. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different directions you can go with this. So I will now unshare my screen if I could figure that out.
Thank you, Matt. And it's great because, you go on a page like yours, just from your biography, you can tell you're with Remax. And as you scroll down the page as well, without even having to tap into your photos, you can tell, you work with Remax because you have the balloons, you have the logos, and you're showcasing that brand. And again, like you said, Photofy just makes it super easy to be able to do all of that.
I think one of the questions you had asked to start this was, what's the return on it? And I mentioned it, but I'd like to highlight it. The biggest return I get from Facebook is agent to agent referrals. So it's important to stay active, and that's how I really get to know people. And it's really funny. Agents from other companies, not with Remax, when they need to send a referral to another part of the country, they call me and say, "Hey, I see you typing people's names all over the internet. You seem to know a lot of agents." It's the social media aspect has really brought us all closer together, and it's definitely a line item on my year end in terms of how I can generate income through social media, through other agent to agent referrals.
So
thank you, Matt. Oh,
can I add on to
Kristen?
2 things that Matt said? So
Mhm.
one, well, I guess you said 2, but one, Anna and I are admins in the Remax creative group, and I can't tell you how many agents you have to like dig to figure out where they're at. So just having that brand facing forward, we are the number 1 most recognized brand, and that automatically builds that trust, which I can't emphasize enough is a huge part of our business. But also to what Matt was saying about having somebody else run your social media for you. So I don't do that either. I don't ever recommend it just because you're trying to build relationships with people. And if you have somebody sending you a message and they're telling you about, they're moving to the area, they've got 3 kids, their oldest son plays soccer, and you're having that dialogue with them. And then he shows up in town and you're getting ready to show him a house, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, like the soccer game ran late," and your immediate reaction is, "Oh, you have kids? Like, how many kids do you have?" Well, there goes your trust with that person. because they've been having that conversation with the person managing your social media, not you.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's, using social media to build those relationships, especially if you're the one managing that page and having those conversations, is super, super important. And lastly, Anna.
Let me share my screen too.
Mhm.
So I'm also a Mac, so I can use my photo albums from the phone into my laptop. So I tried to, this was when Photofy came out, I tried to do a little meme, you can't spell homeowner without meow. And I just used the logo, and you know how you can put in your token. So your token on Photofy is your information that's always there, so that you can easily just like grab like a template of a logo and put it in there and your token shows up. So I have Your Agent Anna, that's my brand. And it was just super easy to put that token on there. And then this one here, I created this one for our agents just to show them how easy it was to to use Photofy. And it's just like a quick little video. This does not apply to today's market because buyers cannot eat this picky. And you can add music. I did not add music to this one, but I thought that this was like super cute.
That's amazing. And is that from the video templates in Photofy?
That was somewhere on social media. I downloaded it and then I created a little meme with it. Really. And then another one, where did I see? So they have like all the R4 templates that was super easy to use. I created a little wallpaper for my phone using like the Instagram stories template. And then also they have, the Zoom backgrounds if you want to use your virtual Zoom backgrounds. And it's super easy, just, put in your headshot in there, need more space, create like a little, just something to put out there. But one of my favorite things about Photofy is also that it has the ads, like the sizes for the ads, and you can use those into your Facebook ads or Instagram ads, or, when you get Megaphone, you get to use Megaphone. But yeah, super cool.
And it automatically loads all your information for you, so you don't have to retype it every single time.
Yes.
Yeah, saves so much time. Thank you, guys. And Michelle.
Yeah, actually, Anna, can you share your screen again and show Photofy to everyone really quick? One of the questions that we get a lot when we're training is, how do I take those images and do other things with them, like put them in Canva, or add them to a collection of projects I'm working on, or maybe use in an ad. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen and share your phone and kind of walk everybody through some of the simple pieces, the repost and scheduling, as well as the templates, and just kind of how to maneuver through Photofy. There's quite a few tabs and templates, and just when you think you found everything, you haven't. So
Allie asked, what about the copyright? So to photos and things, everything that's loaded in there, we're paying to use. So you can use it.
Right. So when you first log into Photofy, you may just see this particular page. So if you load your token information, which I don't remember where to go, probably like settings. I did this a long time ago. You'll on the bottom, you see accounts. You get to select your NAR one, your Remax one, and if you're a manager, you can have the recruiting one. So you can select your Remax one and see this particular screen where you have, photos and collages, where you can select photos and create stuff. Artwork will have more of the graphics elements, and then the templates are super easy. They're all in there, and you can move the tab on top and find what you're looking for. So like let's see, you got so many options.
Yeah, and I just want to add, Photofy is free, but it's free for the first 90 days, and then it's $4 per month US thereafter. Kevin, what's the translation into Canadian dollars?
That's very close to about $5.
Okay.
$5 and a couple cents.
All right, thank you.
Cheaper than a Starbucks a month.
Woohoo.
All of the Remax commercials are also loaded in here. So it just makes it super easy too.
Yes, those are in there too. So can you show them where that business card section is? That we were talking about before under the templates.
So you said it was,
And like I said, go across those tabs across the top. There's even more in there. Yeah, the business card where Kristen was
It's
talking.
almost towards the end.
Yes.
There
Yeah,
it
so
is.
see what Anna's doing right now. So there's so many tabs that you just have to start exploring it. Isn't there there's over 500,000 stock photos loaded into Photofy as well, which means you have permission to use them. And a lot of you've got to be careful you're not using images you don't have permission to. But yeah, this is a fantastic way to have a digital business card.
Right, and I just selected the template, and you can see that my office logo is already loaded in there, my name is already in there, phone number and email address, and then I just have to add, click on the text to add the physical address for my office. Super easy. And then I could,
Someone just asked about Photofy. Sorry, someone just asked about Photofy having a logo maker. Well, the point of using Photofy, the Remax version, is to use the brand compliant logos. So if you're looking to do, hopefully you're not going to move away from that, because there are official rules and regulations on using the Remax logo properly and the name. But if you're talking about just for something else, maybe you have a side business or something, Kristen probably knows all the great tools that are out there, Canva, whatever, to create a logo.
You can always email your logo to standards@remax.com and have it approved.
There you go.
yeah, you can use the
So,
branding
Anna-
guide to check out the regulations about what not to do with the balloon and the Remax logo type.
Right. And also it's Anna's asking, is this only for phones? So to use and to create the posts and to grab the posts and download them, yes, it's mobile based only. You can do this on an iPad. On desktop, you really can't. The only thing you can see is that your projects that you created already, but you can't really do much with it beyond that. So it's really a mobile based app.
Anna, go into the new stickers.
Ah,
Yes.
1 second, let me go back to it.
So the new stickers are Photofy exclusives.
So I'm going to artwork, Remax home stickers. Woohoo!
So these are all ones like this is what I'll share with a new buyer. There's one that's so there's those two that say coolest seller, coolest buyer, and just put them on the exterior photo of their house and then just text it to them. It kind of, they like seeing it. You kind of stick your brand on there without making it about you. And then away they go. I love all the new stickers.
They're super cool.
So there's somebody asked about more in-depth explanations on it. There are quite a few videos in RU that break down how to use Photofy, but I would say just jump in there and you can't screw it up. I mean, by starting in Photofy, you're already doing more than 70% of agents out there. So just get in, play around with it, see, what you can create. And like we all told you when we first started, it wasn't pretty. Some of it's not pretty now, but you're doing it. And that's really, that's way more than most agents are doing. So
At the very least, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
At the very least, what I love, and when I first started using it, is it just creates an overlay with the brand and image that we're representing. So you don't look like the agent that cut and pasted their logo and put it on top of a picture. It blends in beautifully and it looks, that to me, that was when you asked the first question about like, what were your struggles about social media or what were you doing early on 14 years ago? I was trying to figure out how to get the Remax balloon on my listing photo without the white edges around it, because I cut it from paint and I brought it over into whatever I was using. So just getting that on there is a step above most any other brokerages. So that's the very, very least you should be doing with this to get to get the imaging right on your photos.
Anna, can you show how you can put your yard sign in front of a house? This is one of my favorite Photofy features. We'll make Anna do all the work.
Thanks.
There's
You're
also, there's
I
a
was trying to
question.
respond to somebody on the text.
Yeah, no, thanks. There's also a question about using this, first of all, your Mac Center ID is located on your edit profile, and the whole how to sign up for it. Don't download just the Photofy app and try to find things for Remax and create an account. Use the links that we're posting, because that will automatically give you the Remax content. I also saw, Kristen, your favorite subject, the stickers. Someone's asking about adding these new stickers to the stickers library for texting. I don't know if you've heard anything. You usually have the inside track. I have not, but I love the sweater, the hat, and all those cool things that are in there right now.
So not right now. Right now they are in Photofy only, but I, like I said, use my Bitmoji for everything, and you can put the hat and all the things on your Bitmoji. And it's silly, but it's fun. You can go in there and dress it up. But so what Anna's showing you is you can literally put, a sign in the yard.
That right there is worth the price of admission.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully, we've sold you on it, but if we haven't, just sign up.
And it's so good because all of your information is on that sign. Like you can see your name,
All
you
of
can
it.
see your contact info. It's so good.
And you're recognizing those signs around town. And I think that's kind of how there was a period of time last year where I had, 3 listings that were all tucked back in a neighborhood, and people were just reaching out left and right of, we see your signs all over town. Like, you're doing such a great job. We just, want to let you know that we see you. And I'm like, thanks, but those weren't my signs, but you think they are.
Well, so I see a couple of questions about not having things in Photofy. Photofy has a whole support channel that you can reach out to. That Kristen, if you can grab that link to their support center and drop it in there, since you're so quick at that, that would be helpful. But yeah, so so keep in mind, we do not own, Remax doesn't own the Photofy app. We own First, and we own Megaphone and a lot of other stuff, but we don't own this. So, but we do have incredible support and a partnership with the Photofy folks, and you can get some really good help with that. So Kristen, you brought up something that's a good segue into the next topic, and let's talk about the don'ts when it comes to using Photofy or even Design Center, which we haven't even gotten into. But what are some mistakes? You mentioned early on, like you wish you could undo some of those posts or some of those things you created, but let's talk about today. What do you see other agents doing out there that maybe probably don't work, and why?
So I think that a lot of agents make it about themselves, and that's not what it's about. It's completely about our clients and just really helping. I mean, you don't see dentists out there like posting every day, like filled 3 cavities today. Like, and to me, like, that's kind of what we look like when we do those things. So just really being you. And then the other thing that I see a lot of people doing, and this is, there's ways to do it. I had a post the other day of, I can share my screen, right? Just
Yes.
do that, Kristen.
Please do.
Let me go to it first.
Thanks for all the questions, everyone, by the way.
So having too much text copy in your post is a great way to just tune everybody out. But this is kind of, I have a lot of text in this post, but where, it is helpful information. So a buyer's looking at it like, oh, I do need to do all of these things. And this is a good post to kind of touch on. So many people get focused on your follower count, your likes, all of it. This post had 17 likes, but I probably got, 5 or 6 messages about it that were, can you send me a list of local lenders? How do we find a local lender? Like, what are homes selling above the price point for if I'm looking in this range? So those kinds of things are, helpful to share with your audience, and you don't need to focus on oh, it only got 17 likes. I stopped focusing on likes probably about a year and a half ago, and it's just made life so much easier.
That sounds really good. Thank you. Anna, what are some of the don'ts when it comes to using graphics like this and posts, and what do you see out there that kind of makes you cringe?
Try not to overdo on the elements. If you keep it simple, you will get your message across. But if you put too many elements like it would just take away from the message, I think.
Sure. So kind of like the old rule of advertising, less is more.
Yeah, or a kiss. Keep it simple, sweetie.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
I'm in the South, somewhere in the South, so we call it sweetie.
Kristen's like, I'm just gonna say it. You're thinking it, I'm gonna say it. Well, thanks. Matt, how about you? What are maybe some mistakes you made, or what do you see out there that others are doing that just doesn't quite work?
Not being organized, putting out stock information that they really they didn't put their touch on it. I just don't think it has much of an effect. Again, as I said earlier, being consistent, being professional, and utilizing the tools to make sure that each post, has the same image, so people start to recognize your name with, professional looking posts. The other thing that I try to highlight is I put a lot of time into property descriptions when I list a property. And I'm finding that when I put it on Instagram with the full description, people actually are reading it more. They're engaging more about that. I have heard that it's getting more views than when they're clicking on Zillow, looking through all 40 pictures. There's only one picture to look at and a long description. I do find that it gets a little bit more play, and it's just doing it. The other thing that we had mentioned on the call, when we all spoke yesterday, is I think there's a general consensus that there's some magic bullet to social media and to Facebook, that there's just an enormous amount of business to be had. And I would agree, yes, you're going to generate leads. And yes, if you're doing it consistently over a period of time, you're going to get some business from it. But it's not the number one focus in my business, at least. I do it every morning, between 5 and 5:30. I get my posts out there. I respond to people, and then I kind of put it away. And I do a lot of, grassroots type of prospecting, whether it's getting on the phone or sending letters and notes and, direct mail campaigns, which are great too. So I think that as long as you have the mindset that there's no magic to social media, it's just doing it right, doing it in a respectful, way, that is going to have the most return. And you're going to just check that box and kind of move on with your day, as opposed to kind of getting watered down and bogged down for hours trying to figure all this stuff out. Just get your post out there, move on, and focus on clients and other productive activities.
Someone asked if they can replicate some of what we've got, some of what we've posted. I would say be cautious of doing that, not necessarily just with us, but if you look at all three of our Instagram feeds, they're very, very different. And all three of us are very successful in posting on Instagram. But Matt is very true to who Matt is. Mine is very true to who I am. And you have to kind of think of Instagram kind of like your local coffee shop. So you're not going to show up to the coffee shop to meet with a client for the first time and give them, Matt's elevator pitch, because what he's telling people is going to be different than the way you do your business and run your business. So I would say, maybe gather some ideas, but figure out, like Matt said, how you can put your own spin on them, because being somebody else on social isn't the best way to build that trust.
Yeah, that's a great.
I pointed out that there's a social media section in RE/MAX University that has some guides and some ideas of what to post. And Katie Lance's also webinars on social media. So that's a great way to start.
Thank you. All right, Kevin.
Yeah, I guess Matt mentioned earlier, you had a goal of posting 6 days out of the week. I guess let's get into that. Like, what does time blocking look like? We understand that it's super important when it comes to real estate. So, what percentage, or how do you balance that with your other prospecting activities? And how much time do you spend making this content and then posting it? I guess, Matt, we'll start with you.
Sure. So it's the first thing I do in the morning, and I'm very structured. I'll get up, at 5, and then I'll do that somewhere between 5:30 and 6. And there's a lot of other agents up, and I see everybody's very active early, which is a good thing. So I get the post out of the way, and then I don't spend a ton of time on it. And as I said yesterday, having the tools like Photofy and Remax Design Center allows agents to be an individual agent and do a lot of business and be active and be very, very busy. But it looks like we're spending a ton of time on our social media. If I spend 20 minutes a day getting that post out there, that would be a lot of time. It's easy when you have listings to advertise and stuff like that. But even when I don't, some of my favorite posts are just grabbing a cup of coffee on a table and writing something that I think is motivational. People might not like it, but just something like that just kind of shows your character, shows who you are, and just getting that post. And it's not a challenge. If you try, even start with 5 days a week just to get a post out there. Probably not the segment for this, but then we can get into hashtags and how that's a click. That's in my notes on my phone. I have 5 different sets, and I have the max hashtags you could have for each different set. And all I do is cut and paste. So if it's a picture, if it's a new listing, there's, 35, however many they allow you, and they're already preset. So I have the same hashtags and, consistently grow the following and that way. So I don't spend a ton of time interacting with other people on social media. I'll get my post out there. I'll revisit it later in the day. But, to answer your question, it's first thing in the morning, just get it done with and move on to, the next task.
Nice. Thank you. Anna, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I used to do my own social media and all of that, but with business growing and me also being the technology trainer for our agents, I had to delegate that. So I got an assistant. I gave her the templates, content, and kind of ideas of what to post. And thankfully she does that for me. But it is still customized. I still have to approve what she puts out there.
Nice. And Kristen?
I was finding the link to the Facebook creative group, so I missed the question.
No, that's okay. But when it comes to time blocking, how do you sort of organize yourself? How do you make time for your other prospecting activities? All of that.
This moment is a bad time to ask that question. I used to be very, very dedicated to my time blocking, and that's something that I've gotten away from, and I've really struggled to get back into, and I definitely need to get back into it. But I would schedule out what I knew I wanted to post, and I would schedule it on Monday mornings, and then it would go out throughout the week. But then I would also fill in with things that were happening. And that's when I lived, more in my stories, and I was jumping on, and I found huge engagement and interaction in there. So hold me accountable, get me back to time blocking, because I think that is one thing that absolutely saves our sanity.
Yeah. And again, to Matt's point, with these tools, it definitely does make it a lot easier to time block and save yourself time because of how easy it is. And Kristen, you were saying how seamless it is to do as well with the tools that everyone has. But thanks everyone. Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start wrapping up. I see we're at the top of the hour, so thanks for staying with us. Wow, Matt just posted all of his hashtags. That's amazing. Thank you. Now, obviously, we didn't get too in depth into Design Center, just for the primary reason that a lot of the concepts are the same, but also too here at Remax INTEGRA, we haven't made the switch over to the new Megaphone Deluxe platform as of yet. That's coming down the horizon. But we're just working on some other initiatives right now, but it's coming. And, Kristen and Anna, I know that you guys have been big champions for that change, and you're part of by the way, they're masterminds of the Remax Creative Group, which we've posted, so please join. But what I'd like to do is kind of wrap this up and talk a little bit about maybe some advice you have for your peers, whether they're new to the business or just need to get started using these tools. I see some of the comments on the sidebar. Some of these agents have been in the network for quite some time and still have yet to sign up for these tools and to start using them. So we'll start with you on this one, Anna. What final bits of advice would you give to those that need to get started, and what they should do initially and how they can kind of overcome any intimidation about it?
So you want to make sure that all of your profiles are set up with your information, whether it's on social media or even like the Remax tools, because your materials are going to be created for you. So you might as well have everything in there so you don't have to manually enter and change it. Design Center, that they create those materials for your listings automatically for you. So my top tip is when you enter your listing on the MLS, use the best 5 or 6 photos first, not 5 or 6 photos of the outside of the house, because then your materials are going to be completely messed up and you have to go there and edit them manually. So put your hero shot, which is your best photo first, and then the best 5 or 6 features after that, bathroom, chef's kitchen, pool, whatever it is. And then your brochures and your postcards are going to have all of the different photos and will look nice and pretty, and you don't have to redo everything. Top tip.
Thank you. Great tips. Great advice. Yes. Kristen, what would be your final bits of advice from this whole session?
I think I can't emphasize enough, don't be scared of all of it. I know we have thrown a lot of information at you and it's overwhelming for some people, but just get in there. And, when you first went to the pool, you didn't know how to swim, but you learned, and just get in there, learn, play around with it, see what you can create. And then, I can't emphasize just doing it, just going and posting and getting out there and just doing it.
Thank you. That's great. Consistency is the key, and you have to start somewhere. So that's great advice. Matt, what would you say to your peers watching? Where to go with this?
Maybe that hasn't been said yet. All right, so a couple of things. Number one, I would say if you're not, the focus used to be Facebook, and now, I know I'm behind on this, but it's shifted to Instagram. I think that you have to get more comfortable with Instagram because it's more photo centric. And then from there, it can go out to your Facebook. And I'm finding that if you're trying to appeal to a younger demographic, Instagram is the way to go. My brother, who's, I don't know, only 4 years younger than me, they barely go on Facebook, him and his friends. They're all Instagram. So I learned that. And, I really focus on trying to grow my followers there. My second bit of advice is to make sure your clients are following you, or make sure you're following them. Go find all your past clients. Instagram's not so easy, and that's why I think a lot of people like it, because it's not as searchable as Facebook. But make a really good effort to try and find everybody and make sure that they're connected with you. So that would be 1 and 2. And as I've said a few times on this call, is make it a goal to post 5 or 6 times a week, 1 post in the morning. Use the Remax brand on or something on every post, so it's professional and your image is out there, and just be consistent with it. Don't think of it as a magic bullet that's going to make your phone light up tomorrow, but as more of a marathon that it's when somebody looks back at you, because people research me and they say, oh, I looked at your resume, but I also looked at your Instagram profile, and we like the way you portray our house and our houses, and we like the way that you present yourself. So it's all big picture stuff. So I guess that's it.
That's a good point. Instagram has become our resume. And I think you had a good point too about there's so much noise of trying to be everywhere. Focus on one place and be there. If you, post for a few days on Facebook and Instagram and see where you're getting more interaction. I used to not share everything that I was posting on Instagram to Facebook also. And now there's such different audiences that I do. But don't worry about being everywhere. Don't worry about all of the clutter and noise of all the different social medias. Just do what works for you. And the best tool that is going to bring you business is the one you're going to use. So.
Great.
Michelle, there's a bunch of questions in here. If you want to email them to me after, I'm happy to respond back, but it's tough right now.
We have a quick minute if you want to answer them really fast, a couple of them, and then we'll wrap up.
I saw one on earlier on about the Get Card link in my Instagram profile. Just to comment on that, I think it's great. It's a great little tool. It's basically like an online bio. But the reason I put that there is because you need to have a way for people to connect with you. Not everybody's comfortable sending you a direct message, and sometimes those get lost for whatever reason. So the Get link Get Card link is basically a virtual business card that has all your contact information. It has a bio about you. If you look at my Instagram profile, you'll see that it's right at the top. And any lead I get through Instagram usually comes through that link. So I know that how they've reached out to me, which is great. So I recommend it.
I have one more tip. I put it in the chat here, but I know that we have an audience also on Facebook. Matt has all of his hashtags, and I think you mentioned that you copy paste. I actually have my hashtags set up as a text replacement on my phone and on my computer because they sync. So I just type a little code and all my hashtags populate. And I also do that for Remax, so I don't have to always go like capital and then slash and then capital. Like I just do RMX and then Remax, all capital letters with a slash pop up. That's my little hack there.
Thank you so much for that. That's great. Thank you so much, everyone, for the questions. I've been trying to answer as many as I could. We want to be respectful of your time and that of the panel because they are super busy right now. But let's, anything else from the panel that you'd like to say?
I just wanted to add in there, for those of you who are looking for training on these tools, on Photofy, on Design Center, on any of the Remax tools, reach out to us. I'll put in the chat there Michelle's email, of course, for any of you in the States, and myself for any of you in Canada. Reach out to us if you are looking for training, because this is why we're here.
That's right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, everyone. So Matt, Kristen, Anna, you were all awesome. Thanks for taking time away from your spring market frenzy to be with us. Sending you big virtual hugs. And we're all Remax. So thanks, everyone, for attending. We will be back on May 4th with Quintavious Burdette is going to be our guest. I'm so excited. Yay. And it's going to be You Are Your Best Prospecting Tool. So can't wait for that. We'll see you then. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.